Hello, I am Juanita Moore.
And I'm Sister Roma.
I don't think they're going to buy that, girl.
Well, where did you get this outfit?
Well, we're kind of matching today.
We are kind of matching today.
It just happened. This is a complete coincidence. We did not discuss this.
We have not discussed anything.
No. Hello, everyone, and welcome to Reunion, the GLBT Historical Society's virtual gala. Now, I am Sister Roma, a 34-year member of the San Francisco Sisters of Perpetual Indulgence and the most photographed nun in the world.
It's so true. And I am Juanita Moore. I am the Empress of the Imperial Council of San Francisco, which I was just voted in this year.
Yes, you are, Your Majesty.
Oh, God, here we go. We'd like to thank you all for being here tonight, and thank you for the Academy for letting us use their fabulous space. The Academy is an LGBTQ plus social club. We've done a lot of things here, haven't we?
There's always something going on here. And just so you know, Juanita and I are legends.
Yes, we have been made legends.
Yeah, we're not making this up this time.
We've been made legends by the Academy.
Yes, and you can come and you can see Juanita's signature loaves of love in neon on the wall, and you can see my iconic torso, the feathers and the jewelry, it's all in a silicone box hanging on the wall in the other room.
It's absolutely fabulous. Roma, before we get started,
yeah.
We already did get started.
We're on a roll, let's do it.
So let's take a moment to acknowledge the GLBT Historical Society.
Absolutely.
We're also want to acknowledge that it sits on Ohlone land.
We all do.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So today we invite Indigenous folks to make themselves visible on the internet, in the chat, and we want to recognize America's Indigenous people today.
Absolutely. Thank you for that.
Yeah.
So we have a fantastic evening planned for you tonight. We're going to be enjoying entertainment from the Sean Dorsey Dance Company and hearing from some of the people close to the GLBT Historical Society and celebrating some amazing people who have made history.
And we have some sponsors that we'd like to thank, which is very exciting, that helped make tonight possible, including all of the companies and individuals listed on your screen. So check your screen out because there's a lot of people there. Thank you all for supporting the GLBT Historical Society and for helping us to continue making history.
Absolutely. And we would like to thank the people and businesses who generously donated to our silent auction. Now make sure to visit glbthistory.org/auction now to bid. You can submit your bids until midnight on October 25th, and there are some really amazing things available there.
Well, let's give a special shout out to the Gala co-chairs, Kyle Levinger. Is that correct? Did I say it right?
Kyle. We love little Kylie.
Also known as Kylie Manoni, right?
Yes, no.
Oh, here we go.
She's new here. Brand new to San Francisco.
I have said Manoni the whole time. Have I been making a mistake?
No, you're going to have to change your name. She's the Empress.
For all the years that I've known her?
No, you're sorry, Kylie. From now on, you're Kylie Manoni.
You have a new name.
Yeah. Granted from the Empress. I don't make the rules. She does, so.
And we also need to thank John Weber, who is one of our past emperors.
Sure is.
Isn't that exciting? Where are we? Sorry.
Well, to get the evening started, we'd like to introduce Gala Committee Chair Kyle Levinger, aka Kylie Manoni.
Hi, I'm Kyle Levinger, aka Kylie Manono, or some of you may know me, Kylie Manoni. I am the Gala Committee Co-Chair and Secretary of the GLBT Historical Society's Board of Directors. Even though we can't gather in person as we had hoped, I'm honored to be with you tonight to celebrate our many achievements this year as we look towards a bright future. We are thrilled to have a section of Gilbert Baker's original rainbow flag back in San Francisco after believing for 40 years that it had been lost to history. If you haven't had a chance to see it in person, I invite you to visit our museum, get up close and personal with this enduring symbol of our pride, and learn more about the life and legacy of artist and activist Gilbert Baker. Each one of us has a role to play in making history. Maybe you don't know how to sew as well as Gilbert. I certainly don't. But you too can help us preserve and share the stories from our vast queer past and ensure the legacy of our community endures for generations to come. I'm so proud of the work that the Historical Society has done this year, and I am grateful for each of the people who have contributed, from our staff, board, and volunteers to our members, donors, and sponsors. Tonight, I am asking you to join me in helping to make history by making your donation. Your gift of $500 can help process and permanently store up to 5 linear feet of irreplaceable historic material. Your gift of $1,000 will allow hundreds of people to visit our Castro Museum. Your gift of $5,000 can help reinvigorate our oral history program so that we can record the stories of people who might otherwise be erased from history. Whether you can give $50 or $50,000, your contribution is an investment in our future. On behalf of our hardworking board and staff, I thank you for helping us make history. And now please help me to welcome my Gala Committee co-chair and past emperor, John Weber, with a special announcement.
Thank you so much. It's so awesome being with you today, Kylie. As she said, I'm John Weber, the Gala Committee co-chair and the first elected African-American emperor of San Francisco, Emperor 36 after Norton. As a member of the Imperial Court System, I am proud to be a part of a long tradition of LGBTQ rights, activism, and philanthropy started by our founder, Jose Sarria, Empress Jose I, the widow Norton, in 1965. Jose Sarria was also the first openly gay candidate to run for political office in the United States, and his life and legacy are preserved by the LGBT Historical Society at the Dr. John B. D. DeCecco Archives and Special Collections. I happen to take a course with Dr. DeCecco, and he is an amazing historian and an awesome professor. And as I was saying, it is so important that we, as a community, take it upon ourselves to not only preserve our history, but to make sure it stays in a safe location. This is why I am so proud to announce to you today that I have made provisions for the future to donate my personal archives and collection as the first elected African American emperor in 2008 to the LGBT Historical Society. And I am thrilled. I am absolutely thrilled. And I also know that the archives is the right home for my personal artifacts as emperor here in San Francisco. And I'm also thrilled to make it available for generations to come. You see, the history of the LGBT activism, art, and culture in the Bay Area is beyond ours. And I encourage you to visit the archives to learn more about the rich history of our community. If you have any materials you think belong in our archives, please visit our website and learn more about how you can donate your personal collections. You see, Jose Sarria made history when he ran for San Francisco Board of Supervisors. And even though he did not win, he was a pioneer who led other LGBTQ community members to follow in his footsteps and run for political office. And his lasting legacy is reflected today in the support that the LGBT Historical Society receives from elected officials at the city, county, state, and federal levels, including Senator Scott Wiener, Assembly Member David Chu, and congratulations, David, for being our next city attorney. And of course, California Board of Equalization member, Malia Cohen. And we cannot forget our wonderful mayor and an amazing leader for not only the nation, but also for San Francisco, Mayor London Breed, just to name a few. So I say to you, please help me in welcoming some of them now. And I want to thank you so much for your time.
Hi, I'm Senator Scott Wiener, and I just want to express what a huge supporter I am of the LGBT Historical Society, the work that you do in terms of preserving and archiving and promoting our community's history. It's so easy in modern society just to forget about our history. We have so many current needs and challenges in our community, which of course is incredibly important for us to address. But we must never forget our past. We must never forget the people who brought us to where we are today. We must never forget the challenges and the crises that we face in the past, because if we forget them, we're destined to repeat them. And the society just does a tremendous job in making sure we always honor and cherish and promote and educate about our history. It's been an honor to be able to work with the society. We've worked together to obtain funding both at the city level and at the state level, and my support will of course always continue. So thank you for the work that you do, and I look forward to working together in the future.
Hi everyone, I'm California Assembly Member Evan Lowe, serving as chair of the California LGBT Legislative Caucus. A deep thanks to the GLBT Historical Society for all that you continue to do for us in the state of California. We must remember our history. We must ensure that future generations do not forget the past so that some of the atrocities are not repeated. The collective work that we do together to strive for full equality in the state of California requires your full engagement. Now, I know politics isn't always sexy or popular or easy or even something that people like to do, but it's that much more important for us to remember the shoulders that we stand on, to strive for full equality for everyone, not just in the state of California, but across the country. And that's the work that you continually do. So again, thank you so very much to the GLBT Historical Society. We look forward to continued success ahead of us.
Hi, my name is Malia Cohen, and I'm a member of the California Board of Equalization, and it's my great honor to join you in this evening for your awards dinner. The inspirational people we honor tonight are links in our history and will inspire future stories of courage and sacrifice. I'm reminded of the words of Harvey Milk. Harvey famously said, "Hope is being able to see that there is light despite all of the darkness." And with that said, those we honor tonight and those we will honor in the future create a bright light of hope, a light of hope that must always continue to shine. So from the bottom of my heart, I just want to thank you for all that you do and all that you continue to do. And may your light of hope continue to lead the way. Thank you.
Hi everyone, I am Raphael Mandelman, and I represent District 8 on the San Francisco Board of Supervisors. In 1978, Harvey Milk ran for the Board of Supervisors for District 5, representing many of the same neighborhoods that I do today. And he was elected, the second queer person to be elected in the United States. Harvey told us that we had to come out, and he told us to elect queer people. Harvey was taken from us tragically too early and too young. But in the decades that have passed since then, we have elected dozens of queer people to elected office in San Francisco, and thousands of queer people to elected office in the United States. Generations of queer folks have changed the city, our country, and our world, and I am grateful to them every single day. And as we continue to work towards a world of full lived equality for all queer people, including especially trans folks, queer youth and seniors, and queer people of color, our history and the lessons we've learned will guide our way. I want to thank the Historical Society for all that you do to collect and preserve queer history and to make it accessible to everyone.
Hello, GLBT Historical Society. I'm Rob Bonta, California Attorney General. Congratulations to tonight's award recipients, and thank you for the work this organization and those we honor lead. We've made incredible progress in recent years, but our work making LGBTQ history is not done. Ending discrimination, protecting and expanding access to gender-affirming healthcare, tackling the rise of prejudice and hate. We have our work cut out for us as we write the next chapter in our history books, as we fight for justice. We all must do our part to do what this organization does every day: promote understanding of the LGBTQ community, culture, and legacy. Tonight and always, I celebrate this diverse community. I value your boundless contributions to California and our nation, and as your Attorney General, I want you to know I will always have your back. Enjoy Reunion and keep making history.
Hello, GLBT Historical Society. My name is David Chu, my pronouns are he, him, and I'm honored to represent Eastern San Francisco in the California State Assembly, an area steeped in rich LGBTQ history, a history that has driven a movement for human rights and civil rights. The 1966 Compton Cafeteria riots, the famed Castro District, the newly founded Transgender District, and of course, the GLBT Historical Society. For us to know where we're going, we need to remember where we came from. And through its 35-year history, this historical society, with your incredible staff, volunteers, and supporters, have preserved and celebrated our LGBTQ community's contributions, not just to our city, but to the world. And in these difficult times, we must find resilience and continue that fight to realize true equality for all. I want to extend a thank you, a deep thank you to your outgoing Executive Director, Terry Beswick, for years of service. Your work in honoring decades of LGBTQ history will ripple far beyond the Bay Area. And I want to thank all of the supporters who've allowed the work of this great institution to continue. Congratulations to tonight's history makers and Clio Awards recipients, and I want to wish you a very happy reunion.
Hi, my name is Kelsey Evans, and for the last 3 years, I have directed the Society's archives and special collections.
I'm Andrew Schaefer, and I've directed the Society's Development and Communications program since 2019. Last month, Kelsey and I stepped in as interim co-executive directors while we searched for a new permanent leader. Over the last 5 years, our staff has more than doubled in size under the leadership of Terry Beswick. We now have a team of 10 paid staff, as well as dozens of volunteers, interns, and contractors. We are stronger as an organization now than we ever have been, and we are excited to continue our plans to create a full-scale museum and research center, the kind of space our history deserves.
We are honored to welcome you to Reunion, our virtual gala, and thank you all for your continued support. Every year, we gather in October to highlight the accomplishments of a few honorees, as well as to celebrate all of the amazing things we have achieved together. We are so proud of the work our team has accomplished over the last year. Our archivists found creative solutions to continue serving researchers while working from home, and created dozens of new online resources with material for everyone from students to professional researchers to lifelong learners. We expanded our archives with new collections from icons we lost in the last year, including Felicia Flames Elizondo and Phyllis Lyon. We produced online programming and kept our museum operational despite considerable challenges posed by the ongoing pandemic. And we brought the only known piece of the original rainbow flags back home to San Francisco. Our team works hard throughout the year to make this history available, and we thank each of them for their dedication. I hope those of you watching at home take pride in knowing that your support helps to make everything we do possible.
Your contributions help us preserve and share one of the largest collections of LGBTQ historic materials ever assembled. It is an honor, a privilege, and an enormous responsibility to be tasked with caring for the priceless artifacts that document more than a century of LGBTQ life. You can help us keep our irreplaceable history alive for future generations by making a donation now at glbthistory.org/reunion. And while you're there, make sure to look at the items in our virtual auction. From priceless artifacts to rare experiences, there's something in there for everyone. All of our work, from serving researchers in our archives to providing learning opportunities through our museum and events, is possible because of the generous support of our community and our allies. You just heard from a few of our stalwart supporters, and we appreciate the commitment each of these officials has made to supporting our history. Chief among these allies has been our incredible Mayor, London Breed. Not only has she skillfully guided the city through a pandemic, she has made profound investments in LGBTQ communities and our history. Over the summer, she declared August Transgender History Month in San Francisco, an important opportunity to celebrate trans ancestors, as well as the trans people and communities who continue to shape our city and the world. And in June, Mayor Breed announced the city's unprecedented investment in the creation of a new museum of LGBTQ history and culture, acknowledging the vital role that we play in the city's past, present, and in its future. We are incredibly grateful to the mayor for her continued support and invite you to join us on our journey to open the nation's first full-scale museum of LGBTQ history and culture by making a contribution today at glbthistory.org/reunion.
And without further ado, it is our sincere honor to welcome to the virtual stage, Mayor London Breed.
Hi, I'm Mayor London Breed, and I'm happy to join you at the San Francisco GLBT Historical Society's 2021 Gala. The work you do is essential to telling the story of San Francisco because it's impossible to tell the history of this city without the stories of the LGBTQ community. Even this pandemic and our nationally recognized response to save thousands of lives was rooted in how this community responded to the AIDS crisis. So many people come to San Francisco because of our LGBTQ history, culture, and community. Whether that's a tourist coming to learn about the past or a young person coming to seek a better life where they are embraced for who they are and who they love. They come because they've heard the stories of Harvey Milk, of marriage equality, of the summer of love. Now there are plenty of iconic locations reflecting that history in this city, but there is no true home for all of it. This is why we committed a $12 million investment in my recent budget to purchase a site for the permanent home of an LGBTQ history museum. I am excited to work with you to make this reality so we can finally have a space that honors the important contributions of our LGBTQ community. I want to congratulate this year's honorees for the work each of you have done to tell the story of San Francisco. LGBTQ history deserves to be remembered, embraced, and shared. I look forward to working with you to make the LGBTQ History Museum a reality right here in San Francisco.
Wow, thank you, Mayor London Breed, and all of the elected officials for supporting our work. And what about that $12 million?
Absolutely incredible. It's amazing.
It really is. And while we're at it, we'd also like to thank the Gala Committee who worked so hard to make tonight happen, including our friend Kylie Minono, John Weber, Michaela Ryu, Andrew Schaefer, and Mark Sawchuk. They've all worked really hard to pull together this event, and we're grateful for all the work that you do and the staff does to keep our history alive.
And we're delighted to introduce our first performance. And this one is particularly close to the hearts of everyone at the GLBT Historical Society. The Sean Dorsey Dance Company will be screening an excerpt from its dance theater piece performance, Uncovered, The Diary Project. It's a popular 2009 work based on the diaries of Louis Sullivan.
Now, Louis Sullivan was a gay and transgender historian, community organizer, and diarist. Lou's diaries chronicle his social and medical transition, as well as his rich emotional sexual life. Sounds steamy.
It sounds steamy. After moving to San Francisco, Lou transitioned and quickly became a leader in the trans masculine community.
He published 2 books and became a founding member of the GLBT Historical Society.
Yeah, in addition to that, Lou bequeathed his lifelong papers, letters, and diaries to the archives upon his death.
In the making of
Uncovered, the Diary Project.
We're not reading. We're not. And in creating this beautiful project, Sean Dorsey spent a year in the archives researching Lou's life, putting them to music, and making this piece just for us.
We really hope you enjoy this. Uncovered, the Diary Project.
Perfect day, a perfect day. Dear Diary, I tell him I love him and he tells me he loves me too. I take him in my arms and he struggles to free himself until finally he's still. And I hold him close to me. We hold each other. We're laying side by side and I am overwhelmed with love. I kiss his whole body and hold him. We laid in the sun-filled room a long time. He laughed and said, I do love you. Stay quiet, warm, and soft. Open my heart unconditionally, with no regrets. I've spent this time well. And then my heart was beating 1,000,000 times an hour, catching my breath, losing touch. He asked if I was scared, and I said, just the opposite. Somehow we found each other. There we were. Here we are. He said quickly, I love you. It is a perfect day, a perfect day. I have a beautiful view of he who loves me. Relaxed and peaceful now, I say, it looks like the rain stopped and it's clearing up. I'm going for a walk. This has been an especially lovely day. I'm sure there's a lot more I should be writing here, but I'm going to sign off now, diary. It looks like the rain stopped and it's clearing up. I'm going for a walk. I tell him I love him. He tells me
he loves me too. I take him in my arms and he struggles to free himself until finally he's still. And I hold him close to me. We hold each other. We're laying side by side and I'm overwhelmed with love. I kiss his whole body and hold him. Until finally, he is still.
Each year, the GLBT Historical Society presents awards to LGBTQ history makers and supporters of our important work. This year, we are presenting the Clio Award for advancing understanding of LGBTQ history and the History Makers Award for significant artistry and contributions to LGBTQ history and culture.
And to kick off our awards program, we'd like to bring back Gala co-chair Kylie Minogue, to present the Clio Award. Hi, Kylie.
Hi, it's Kylie Minogue, aka Kyle Levenger again. And as the Secretary of the Board of Directors, I am deeply honored to introduce my friend, mentor, and chosen family, Tina Valentin Aguirre. Tina Valentin Aguirre, they, them, theirs, has fundraised for organizations that focus on HIV, health, and the arts, including Mission Neighborhood Health Center, the Names Project Foundation, and Lyric. Since 2020, Tina has been the district manager of the Castro LGBTQ Cultural District. Prior to that, they served as Associate Director of Institutional Giving at Shanti, raising money for HIV, cancer, and LGBTQ senior services, as well as for Pets Are Wonderful support. Tina is a poet, movie director, and opera producer, holding a BA in communication from Stanford University. Tina served on the GLBT Historical Society Board of Directors for 6 years, including 4 as our board chair. The GLBT Historical Society is honored to present the 2020 Clio Award to Tina Valentin Aguirre in recognition of their dedication to the Bay Area LGBTQ community and for their service to the GLBT Historical Society. Tina, thank you for all that you do and for encouraging and inspiring our future leaders in our community.
Thank you so much for this Clio Award. I'm really proud of the 6 years of service that I provided on the board of directors. And I'm also really happy about where the organization is today. I want to take this moment to thank a few people who've been really key in the achievements that we've made. They include Maria Powers, who has stepped up as chair of the board this August, Lito Sandoval, and some people who are no longer on the board but were very important when I joined 6 years ago. They include Brian Turner, Gerard Koskovich, Elizabeth Cornu, and the late Byron Mason. More recently, Land O'Lakes was on the board and also provided great leadership for the organization. As we move toward a new museum and the future that includes a more diversified collections in our archives, along with exhibitions, I want to thank the staff and the board because there's so much hard work that they've done and there's so much great work that they're doing now. I'm also looking forward to continuing my connection with the organization via Calle 16 and Beyond, a new archival collection focused on LGBTQ Latinx people. Through this, researchers, curators, and the Historical Society will have more materials to be able to tell our stories. Thank you for your support, and thank you for being here tonight, and thank you for this award.
Congratulations, Tina. You look absolutely incredible tonight, and thank you for your hard work and tireless dedication to our community.
Don't forget to check out some of the amazing items in our silent auction this year. Head over to glbthistory.org/auction to start bidding now. You'll need to register on our auction site by clicking Sign In the top right corner. You'll be prompted to create an account using your email address. Make sure to place your bids before the auction closes on October 25th.
When you donate tonight and bid on silent auction items, you're making it possible for the GLBT Historical Society to collect and preserve stuff that goes into our legacy and our history, which is pretty amazing. So in 2020, the Society made an incredible discovery.
We are going to take you now to the museum where we have recently unveiled an artifact previously thought lost to history, the only known remnant of the original rainbow flag.
Amazing.
I know, it was handcrafted right here in San Francisco in 1978 by Gilbert Baker and a team of amazing collaborators.
And guess what? Did you know that Gilbert was part of the Sisters of Perpetual Indulgence?
I sure did, Sister Chanel 2001. Yes, honey. The legacy lives on, baby. We're so proud of that.
It's amazing. So you can learn more about the flag and Gilbert's life, work, and activism by visiting our website.
For more information about the past, present, and future of the rainbow flag, we're honored to introduce Charlie Beal, President of the Gilbert Baker Foundation.
Hello, my name is Charlie Beal, and I'm the president of the Gilbert Baker Foundation. We are an all-volunteer organization dedicated to preserving and extending the legacy of Gilbert Baker, a radical queer artist who, with the help of over 30 very diverse volunteers, created the original LGBTQ+ rainbow flag in San Francisco in 1978. And since that time, the rainbow flag has become the most recognizable symbol of liberation ever created by humankind. Think about that. And it represents the entire LGBTQ+ community, all genders, all races, all ages. It truly is the rainbow of humanity. But more importantly, the rainbow flag serves as a beacon of hope to millions and millions of young people across the globe who are struggling to take that first brave step out of the darkness of the closet into the bright light of freedom. And though many of us have enjoyed the benefits of our struggles, whether it's gay marriage or the passage of local and state non-discrimination laws or inclusion in the military, we must never forget that our struggle is not over until all members of our community can enjoy all of these freedoms equally. We still have great challenges in this country with racism and transphobia and biphobia, and there are still 70 countries around this world where the mere act of coming out can lead to harassment and beatings and jail and even death. So, even as we celebrate the historic return of a fragment of the original rainbow flag to San Francisco and to this amazing museum that houses the Gilbert Baker collection, and as we continue our efforts to landmark the rainbow flag installation at Harvey Milk Plaza, there is still much work to be done. And that's why the Gilbert Baker Foundation is extremely proud and excited to be collaborating with Report Out and the Sexual Orientation and Gender Initiative on a new project called Flag in the Map. This project will feature stories and photographs of how people use the rainbow flag all across the globe to help promote hope and liberation for our diverse community. Whether it's seen at a global pride celebration or a passionate political protest, whether it's hanging in your bedroom window or in the doorway of a local cafe, we want to tell these stories. And by helping to make the Flag in the Map project a global success, we can help others. And that's something that everyone at the Gilbert Baker Foundation and Report Out feel very passionate about. You know, I've been lucky and blessed to have lived most of my life out of the closet. Therefore, I feel it's my responsibility to reach out and help others who have yet to enjoy the freedoms embodied in the rainbow flag. So thank you.
Thank you so much, Charlie, for all you do to further Gilbert's legacy. We're especially thankful for working so closely with our former executive director, Terry Beswick, to bring the rainbow flag home to San Francisco.
Yeah, Terry led the society for 5 years before handing it over for the reins to pursue an exciting new challenge. So here he is.
Welcome, lovers of queer history, to Reunion, the annual awards gala for the Gay, Lesbian, Bisexual, Transgender Historical Society. Hi everyone, I'm Terry Beswick, and I want to thank you, the members and supporters of the Society, for allowing me to serve as Executive Director these last several years. It's been a period of amazing growth and capacity building for the Society, as we push towards our goal of establishing the first full-scale museum of LGBTQ history in the United States. We're now poised to make that new museum a reality. This would not have been possible without the faith and trust you put in us. If you've been with us throughout this journey, thank you so much for your steadfast support. And if you're new to the Society, welcome, and I hope you stick with us as we continue our efforts collecting, preserving, and sharing our richly diverse LGBTQ stories. It's been an honor to serve at this wonderful organization since 2016. And while I've moved on to pursue other endeavors, I will always do whatever I can to support the Society's mission. And I hope you will too. Thank you for supporting tonight's reunion gala, and if you can, please dig a little bit deeper to make an additional donation as the Society takes on new challenges and opportunities. Consider even becoming a foundational donor for the new museum. Your support right now at any level will be critical to the Society's success. Again, I extend my heartfelt gratitude to all of you for allowing me to be of service, and I hope to see you at the ribbon cutting for the new museum. Thank you and have a good night.
Thank you, Terry, so much for everything you've done for the Historical Society. Up next, we're going to hear from a former GLBT Historical Society Executive Director, Susan Stryker, who made a discovery from our archives that has literally changed history. So take it away, Susan.
Hi, I'm Susan Stryker, and congratulations to the GLBT Historical Society on another year of impactful existence in the world. I've been asked to say a few words about the importance of the archive for my own research and writing. I actually have a longer history with the archive than just the way it's shaped my own scholarship. I actually started as a volunteer at the GLBT Historical Society back in 1991. It's where I learned how to be an archivist. I think of it as the beginning of my career as a public historian. I had the honor of archiving and processing for public use the collection of Lou Sullivan, who was a really amazing founder of the trans masculine community here in San Francisco and nationally, worldwide. Processing Lou's papers helped make them available to a broad community of people who were really interested in them. They have resulted in dissertations and biography and original dance composition by local choreographer and dancer Sean Dorsey. His diaries were recently published and won a Lambda Literary Award. And I'm just very proud of the work that I did as an archivist to help make that material available to the world. The archive was also the source of the first book that I ever wrote. With my good friend and colleague Jim Van Buskirk, we published a book called Gay by the Bay, A History of Queer Culture in the San Francisco Bay Area, which was the first book-length treatment of San Francisco's remarkable queer history. And the materials came, 90% of it came from the GLBT Historical Society archive. But the thing that I'm actually proudest of is being able to use the archive to find what was then, I would say, a lost history of the Compton's cafeteria riot. San Francisco's own Stonewall in 1966, 3 years before New York's Stonewall, where trans women and gay hustlers and sex workers, they fought back against the police at an all-night cafeteria called Compton's Cafeteria at the corner of Turk and Taylor Streets. And the first thread, that I found that mentioned something about the riot was in a list of events that one of the Historical Society's founders, Greg Pennington, had compiled from his readings of Bay Area Gay Liberation Press. And it just said, August 1966, drag queens resist police harassment at Compton's, fighting breaks out. But that was where that was the breadcrumb that I followed, that eventually led to me just poring over the contents of the archives, finding and documenting the story of the riot, and then eventually making the film Screaming Queens, the riot at Compton's cafeteria, with my good friend and colleague Victor Silverman. And that film, it turns out, has really helped reshape our understanding of LGBT social movement activism, trans activism in particular. And that it was for me a kind of a career defining piece of work to be able to do. So I'm very grateful that the archive exists and that it has helped me do my work as a historian to help the public remember the past in a little less straight kind of way. It's such a tremendous resource. The archive is it's just amazing. And so thank you for your support of it, and wishing you all a happy virtual gala this year. May we be able to meet in purpose, may we be able to meet in person on purpose in the years ahead. Thanks. Bye-bye.
Can you believe that? Since Susan first found evidence of what we now know as the Compton Cafeteria riot, countless researchers have come into our archives to learn more about that fateful night. Now, you can watch Susan's documentary Screaming Queens on YouTube, produced with KQED Arts. And if you want even more knowledge and context, check out the GLBT Historical Society's panel called Compton's Cafeteria Riot and the Legacy of Police Violence, presented in collaboration with the Tenderloin Museum.
And you can find that panel recording as well as information all about our current and past events at glbthistory.org/events. And don't forget to donate and support this amazing and important work.
Absolutely. And speaking of preserving and making history, it's time to introduce this year's History Maker honorees.
Yay.
Thank you to all the nominees and everyone who voted this year. Without further ado, here is Board Chair Maria Powers, who will present the first History Makers Award.
Good evening, everyone. Our second honoree tonight is Jill Gomez. Jill Gomez is a novelist, essayist, poet, and playwright. Her 8 books include the first Black lesbian vampire novel entitled The Gilded Stories, which has been in print for more than 30 years, and recently optioned by Oakland's Cheryl Dunny, director of Lovecraft Country, for a TV miniseries. Her work has appeared in numerous anthologies, including No Police Equals No Future, Luminescent Threads, a tribute to Octavia Butler, Dark Matter, a century of speculative fiction from the African diaspora, Red Indian Wood West, and Love Castro. Her plays about James Baldwin and Alberta Hunter were produced at the New Conservatory Theater Center, where she is currently playwright in residence. She's a former president of the San Francisco Public Library Commission, where she still sits on the Hormel Endowment Committee. She was a former director of grants for the San Francisco Arts Commission and for Horizons Foundation. She was one of the founding board members of GLAD and the Austria Lesbian Foundation. The GLBT Historical Society is honored to present a 2021 History Maker Award to Jill Gomez in recognition of her body of work and her commitment to LGBTQ arts and service organizations in the Bay Area and beyond. Thank you.
Hi, thank you so much to the GLBT Historical Society for this honor, and I'm especially pleased to be sharing the night with 2 of my pals, Dan and Franco, who have done so much important work for the LGBTQ community. I'm very pleased, even though we're not in person. I'm bummed we're not in person, but maybe next time. You know, I was raised by my great-grandmother and my grandmother, who really taught me the value of knowing your history. Just by learning their stories, I learned how to be a lesbian feminist of color in a time when Boston was not that hospitable to lesbians. And let's see, when is time that any place is that hospitable to lesbians? Still waiting. But I learned to value what history can teach us. And I think that's one of the reasons that I love writing vampire fiction. I get to tell the story of our past through different eyes, through the eyes of women of color and lesbians, and get to see what the history has been and learn from it how we can be the people we want to be and make the future as important and valuable and hospitable to queer people as we are able to. So thank you to the Historical Society for this honor and for the important work you're doing in creating a home for people who didn't happen to grow up with my great-grandmother. And so they can come to the Historical Society and learn what our past has been and what we can make of the future. Thank you.
Franco Stevens founded Curve, the most successful lesbian magazine in the world, connecting lesbian community, changing the way lesbians are seen by the mainstream, highlighting the transgender experience, raising awareness of attacks on LGBT rights, and amplifying the work of lesbian activists. The GLBT Historical Society is honored to present a 2021 History Makers Award to Frances Franco Stevens in recognition of her sustained decades-long work to promote and cultivate LGBTQ art, artists, and culture makers.
Hi, I'm so honored to receive this recognition tonight alongside Jewel Gomez and Daniel Nicoletta, both whose work has appeared in the pages of Denuve and Curve magazines over the years. My life's goal has been to spotlight the lesbian experience, to tell the stories of the LGBTQ+ women in our community that are making a difference, kicking ass and taking names, whether it be through their activism, changing laws, writing stories, performing music, or creating art. It's been a real honor. So, in the tradition of Curve magazine, my wife Jen Raden and I have just launched the Curve Foundation to further the mission of Curve magazine and give back to the community. Our first program is archiving and digitizing the first 30 years of the iconic Denuve and Curve magazines. How great is it going to be when you can, for free, in the comfort of your own home, go back and read that issue from 1991 and see where our community was at that given time. It really represents a big portion of our history, the last 30 years of Curve. I'm so honored to have been a part of that. The other project we've been hard at work at is with the NLGJA, the Association for Queer Journalists. We've created the Curve Award to give a monetary award to emerging journalists so they can continue to tell our stories. Because, like I said, no one can tell our stories like we can tell our stories. I'm so excited to see what the first year of Curve cohorts writes. Whether it be in sports or science, arts or entertainment, I know they're going to do a great job. I want to thank the Historical Society for this beautiful award, but mostly I think they're the ones that deserve the award. What incredible work you're doing. Without you, our history would be forgotten. From the bottom of my heart, I want to thank the Historical Society for the award, for their work. I also want to thank all the people who've read Curve and Denuve magazines through the years, and for all the people that will continue to support us by donating to the Curve Foundation in the future. Thank you, and from the bottom of my heart, I really appreciate it.
Tonight's final honoree of the evening is Danny Nicoletta. Daniel Nicoletta is a freelance photographer who began his career in 1975 as an intern to the LGBTQ movement photo documentarian Crawford Barton. Nicoletta also worked in Harvey Milk's camera store in the heart of the Castro district and was involved in Milk's Victoria's election as one of the first openly gay elected officials in the world. Nicoletta's body of work maps his long romance with San Francisco and its people. especially the lesbian, gay, bisexual, and transgender communities. The first solo book of Nicoletta's work, called LGBT San Francisco, the Daniel Nicoletta Photographs, was released in 2017 from Real Art Press and is distributed by DAP Art Book. And his work has been featured in numerous settings, books, periodicals, films, and collections, including the New York Public Library's Wallach and Berg collections and the Bancroft collection at University of California, Berkeley. The LGBT Historical Society is honored to present a 2021 History Makers Award to Danny Nicoletta in recognition of his sustained decades-long work to document and share the beauty and the resilience of San Francisco's LGBTQ community.
It's Dan Nicoletta. I'm broadcasting from Grants Pass, Oregon, where I live now. This is the ancestral home of the Tequilma and the Shasta Indian tribes. Permit me to acknowledge the connection between Indigenous people and their ancestral homes. I'm really honored to receive this History Maker Award today alongside such wonderful people in the community, Tina, Jewel, and Franco. I'm very honored. Thank you to Lawrence Hellman for nominating me, and thank you to all of you for voting for me and sending sweet notes along the way. Mostly want to acknowledge my collaborators. They are legion. You know who you are. You know, whether you're a sitter or a stylist or a copy editor, you know, I cannot do what I do without you. So thank you. This is the work of a community, and we are co-creating safe space in the world for LGBT people and our allies. That is the core impulse for me, without a doubt. I've been very lucky to be able to sustain that. Most people can, you know, do it in shots and starts, but I've been having a great continuity around it. So I feel it was sort of a meant-to-be situation. And I think our elders and our ancestors are looking down and smiling when they see us continuing their work. You know, to me, that is, you know, sort of an impetus. And the Jose Sarias and the Harvey Milks and the Walkers, you know, we get to continue their amazing work in the world. And in particular, devoted to that. So I guess that's it. I hope I thanked everybody. I was asked to show the award, so here it is. And then I have a little extra photo op for you. It is a mystery package, came in the mail right after I received notification, and here is what I received. And turns out it was from, I didn't find out right away. I didn't know which bitch sent me this, but it was Jalala from the Angels of Light, which was deeply touching because, you know, when I first got to town in '74, I sought the angels out like a little puppy dog trying to get the definitive photograph of them. And so here we are 40 plus years later, and we're still family. And so it goes. Thank you.
Congratulations to all our history makers, and don't forget that you can still bid on items in the silent auction, including a signed photograph of Harvey Milk taken by history maker Danny Nicoletta, and you don't want to miss out on that. Danny is a dear friend. I have seen this photo and it's absolutely stunning.
Juanita, can you believe we're coming to the end of the evening already? So it's officially our job to remind you one more time that we are raising money for the GLBT Historical Society, people. We want your coins to help keep the society and their important work preserving and sharing our rich queer history. Donate now by visiting glbthistory.org/reunion.
Before we wrap up, we want to take a moment to recognize some of the many people that we have lost this year. According to the Human Rights Campaign, more than 38 trans and gender nonconforming people have been murdered, and most of them are people of color so far in this year, coinciding with a rise in anti-trans legislation and rhetoric that seeks to erase queer people from the landscape.
And in the last year, we've also lost local trailblazers, including Al Baum, Fran Frisch, Sally Gerhardt, James Hormel, Felicia Flames Elizondo, and Ken Jones.
They're all Bay Area heroes.
Huge global impact. Such amazing people.
Think about all the people that we've lost this year, it reminds us why the work that we do is so important.
Our archives contain the records of so many history makers, people, events, and organizations that would be lost to history without organizations like ours.
Before we head out for the evening, we want to offer our sincere thanks to each of you for joining us tonight and for helping us keep all of these histories alive.
I'm Michaela Ryu.
I'm Mark Sawchuk.
And I'm Andrew Schaefer. And on behalf of the Gala Committee and the entire board and staff of the GLBT Historical Society, we thank you for joining us tonight and for your continued support. I want to encourage everyone to dig a little deeper and to make a donation now at glbthistory.org/reunion.
And make sure to check out our incredible silent auction items while you're there. I want to thank all of our donors to the silent auction and our framing donors, Chandler Fine Art and Framing and Sterling Art Services. Thank you so much.
And of course, a great big thank you to our fantastic hostesses with the mostesses, Sister Roma and Juanita Moore. Take it away.
We did it!
We did it. Thank you, Roma. You're absolutely fabulous.
And nobody you know I'd rather do this with.
You know what? And if I could be Sister Roma, I would be.
Oh, really? Well, if I could be Empress Juanita Moore, I would be. I'll drink to that.
Cheers to that.
You know, these mugs are available in the Society's gift shop and online.
They're cute. Look at the flag on this side. Yay.
Yes, order yours today. Thank you all so much for joining us. Honestly, we do this for you, but we couldn't do it without you. So thank you for your donations and everyone on the team for your hard work to make this night happen.
Sending you loads of love.
It's your tagline. It's a good one. Bye, everybody.